which is saturated with hydrogen gas. Clear? Basically, this is the platinum electrode. You don't have to remember the construction, or you don't have to remember what are the values which are there. But what you have to remember, the few things are E naught H plus 2H2 is 0, or E naught H2 2H plus is 0. This is not 0, we have assigned it as to be 0. Clear? This is the reference point which we have took. So if something has a value of E naught, say if I am taking SRP, if something has an SRP of say 2 volts, then it is 2 volts with respect to hydrogen. Just like we assign a potential difference and we take the potential of ground to be 0. Same thing, we are assigning this value to be 0. Clear? Just copy it down. See, these are typical examples of gas, ion, half cell. What is gas? A gas is released, either say chlorine or say hydrogen. And with the gas you have in equilibrium any ion. For example, if chlorine is released, you have with equilibrium Cl minus. Or in this case you have hydrogen, which is equilibrium with H plus ions. So these are generally known as gas, ion, half cells. Clear? I will just make a short table so that it is easy for you to remember. Just copy it once, then I will draw the table. See, all the gases are taken to be at 1 bar or 1 atm. Okay, that's why if you write the Q value for this, it will be H plus by PH2. PH2 is nothing but 1. Or Cl2P divided by Cl minus. That's why Q value is 1 by Cl minus. Just copy it once. See, you don't have to remember this list, but I am giving you an exhaustive list of all the half cells which are possible. So what is the case is, even in case you have any doubts, you can just take it as a reference. Clear? That's why I written all the Q values, all the E naught values. Clear? See, don't try to remember this, but few of them are very important. This one is very important. These two are mostly which you are going to face. Calomel electrode. The last one is the twin hydrogen half cell. So see, an exam they may give you something like this, which is very scary as such. But no need to worry, because all these things are mostly present in the aqueous state or mostly present as solids. So the activities are one. This reaction you will also face in organic chemistry. The twin hydrogen. When you are going to do the aromatic chemistry, then you will come across this reaction. Okay. So once you know all these set of reactions, I don't think there will be any problem in doing any sort of questions. That's why I have written an exhaustive list. Clear? Just use it as a reference.
So in the last reaction, twin hydrogen cell, why will H plus be in the denominator?
Okay, it should be in the numerator. Right.
Seventh one, it should be in the denominator.
So the seventh last reaction.
This one?
E naught.
Yes, sir, it should be in the denominator, SO4 minus.
Yeah. Make it plus. Or it's fine?
Whole square.
Whole square.
No, it is only SO4 2 minus, na? There is not 2 SO4.
So, sir, the second last column, it should not be SO4 minus whole square. It should be just SO4 minus.
It is just SO4 2 minus. It's not whole square.
One before that, the box before that.
So yeah, the column.
That should be SO4 minus.
It's fine now? And here also,
Numerator.
it should be equal to this. And make it positive. Now it's fine? See, I know you can derive all these equations, but I just given you as a reference. So in the worst case scenario, I think you are always going to derive all these equations once you know the equation, right? Typically in JEE they give you all the equations. They will give you the equations of half cell in case there is a difficult half cell. For example, if this is the case, they will give you the equation. Shall we go ahead? See, at times what happens, even if we have the same electrolyte and they are of different concentrations. Say if I have different electrolytes, this is electrolyte 1 and this is electrolyte 2. And this is concentration C1, this is concentration C2. So what happens is, due to the difference in concentration of these electrolytes, there is going to be an additional potential which is going to be developed. And this is due to mostly diffusion. You know what is diffusion? If you have a difference of concentration, then there is a flow from higher concentration to lower concentration. Right? So, if there is a difference in concentration, you will have something known as junction potential. And why it is known as liquid junction potential? Because it is between the liquids, the surface of the liquids. Clear? So just write down what is junction potential. If two electrolytes or two electrolytic solutions having different concentrations are used in a cell, then a potential difference develops across the boundary of two solutions, known as liquid junction potential. Simple enough? So due to the difference in concentrations between the different electrolytes, we are going to have some additional potential other than these two. So suppose you have two batteries and you say that E01 and E02, and then you say that say your value should come out to be 0.5 volts, but it is coming out to be 0.498. So this additional 0.002 is due to the difference in concentration between the different electrolytes. Simple enough? Clear? Which is actually the case. Now what is going to be the case is, this junction potential is going to be minimized if I take both the electrolyte as same. For example, if I take this also as electrolyte 1, I take this electrolyte as also electrolyte 1. And I take both the concentration to be different. What I am saying is, if we take both electrolytes to be same, or not exactly electrolytes, if we take both anode and cathode to be same, having different concentrations, junction potential, or we can say liquid junction potential, is minimized. See, listen to the concept first. What I am saying is, suppose I take this reaction, Ag plus, this is solid, concentration C1. I draw, what is this? Salt bridge. I again take this, the concentration say C2, and I take this. See, this is the reaction. Okay, so up till now what we did was, we took something as a cathode, we took a different thing as an anode, right? Now suppose I take the same thing to be cathode and the same thing to be anode, having different concentrations. First question, will the cell work? Yes, it will work. See, don't get confused between potential and liquid junction potential. Liquid junction potential is just an error term which you will get actually. It is just like an internal resistance. Actually, what you have to say is, you say that resistance is less because you have an internal resistance in each cell, right? Similarly, in this case, what I'm asking you is the cell going to work? Yes, it is going to work. This is the answer. How? Let's check. Okay, tell me what will be the E0 value for this cell? What will be the E0 cell for this? Think and say. I am not giving you any data and I am asking you E0 cell. And I want the exact value. Is it possible? Not possible? Data insufficient? Question wrong. Data insufficient? No, data is not insufficient. Data, you have a lot of data. Zero. Right? Why is it 0? Because the same thing is cathode. So SRP of cathode minus SRP of anode. And both of them are at standard conditions. So you have the same cathode and same anode. So SRP of cathode minus SRP of anode equal to 0. Now tell me, can you still get a positive answer for this?
E cell is equal to
E cell equal to?
E0 cell minus 0.
Okay, I am writing the equation. E cell equal to E0 cell minus 0.059.
If Q is less than 1, then we can get.
If C2 is,
Q is less than 1.
if Q is less than 1, you can get the answer. So again, if I say the equation will be something like this.
If C1 is greater than C2.
So this will be right. So everybody just listen to it. It's a very important concept. In this case, I took the same cathode and same anode. First thing. Secondly, they have not provided with the E naught values, which they mostly do. Why? Because E naught cell is going to be 0, which you only derived, right? You just derived it. And third and the most important thing is, in spite of having the same cathode and same anode, it is possible that the cell reaction is possible. You're getting a point? So these type of cell, when you take both the anode and cathode to be same, first, having different concentration, are known as concentration cells. Why concentration cells? Because anode and cathode are same. What is difference is only the concentration. So all the concentration cell, what will be the E naught cell? 0 always. Or will it be non-zero in some other case? It can never be non-zero. Why? Because the same thing is you are taking as cathode and the same thing you are taking as anode. So in these questions, what will they do? In JEE, when you will be doing a lot of questions, see, you will be in very high pressure situation that time. So suddenly you will see that you are not given any E naught values. This is a very common practice. So if you do a lot of questions, you are in habit of using E naught values. They will not give you E naught values for this, and so you will be thinking, what should I use E naught as? They have not given data is insufficient. And they will give this as one of the option, data insufficient. They will ask you E cell, they will not ask you E naught cell, they will ask you E cell, and you will be thinking what is E naught cell, and they will give you one option, data insufficient. So, now everything is clear? Sure?
Yes, sir.
Just write it down now. Suppose I give you a question, okay? What has been given to you is Mn plus C1 M solid, Mn plus C2 M solid. You have to find what are the possible values of N or the range of values of N for which this reaction is spontaneous. Try it once. What is the type of cell which is it? Which type of cell is it? Concentration cell. So I can say E cell equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 by N log of C1 by.
Right,
Say
does
C1
not
equal to
depend
10
on
and
that.
C2 equal to 20.
The C2 by C1.
C1, C2 are 10 and 20 molar.
So it'll be C2 by C1. So there's nothing to, it has nothing to do with it.
Independent.
Independent of N.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But see, again, if the question comes in JEE, they will write something like this. So you don't know what is N plus, you don't know what C1, C2, they will give you all these things. Suppose in this case I gave you C1 and C2. So one question which might arise before solving is, what is C1, what is C2, what will be the E naught values, and you will leave the question. It is very easy as such. This is the case of concentration cell. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead. See, now what they do is they have developed an electrochemical series. You don't have to learn the electrochemical series, but you should know what does it imply. Okay, so we have assigned a reference for hydrogen as 0. So there will be things which will be above hydrogen in SRP, and there will be things which will be below hydrogen in SRP. SRP is standard reduction potential. Clear? So I will just write a list. Okay, just copy it down. See, you don't have to remember these values. I will just explain what is the main meaning of this whole thing. If you can see, I have plotted SRP. All means these are the reduction potentials. All these things which are above hydrogen are having negative SRPs, and below hydrogen are having positive SRPs. What does a positive SRP means? For example, if I say fluorine, fluorine has the highest SRP, highest standard reduction potential, highest potential to oxidize someone. Okay, so it is the strongest oxidizing agent. So if it is the strongest oxidizing agent, it will itself get reduced, or it has the highest tendency to get reduced, or it has the highest SRP, standard reduction potential. Getting my point? I'll explain it to you again. Fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent and it is having the highest SRP. If something is an oxidizing agent, it will reduce others and get oxidized. It will oxidize the other and get reduced itself. So its tendency to get reduced is highest. That's why its SRP is highest. SRP is the standard reduction potential. It shows the tendency of something to get reduced. So it is highest in case of fluorine and lowest in case of, so it will be the strongest reducing agent. Because if this is the SRP trend, what will be the SOP trend? Just the reverse. So I can say if this is SRP increases, I can say this way SOP increases.
Plus.
Getting my point? So if you have something with a higher SRP, implies it has a higher tendency to get reduced. So fluorine has a higher tendency to get reduced than hydrogen. This is the standard hydrogen electrode. So effectively it is nothing but H plus 2 H2. Clear? So whatever is lying above H plus, in case of SRP, it has a less tendency to get reduced. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So this is the same case. For example, if I ask you a question, will iron be able to displace copper 2 plus from its salt?
Yes.
You can answer this now. If it is displacing copper 2 from its salt, it needs to get oxidized. So it has a greater SOP? Yes, it has a greater SOP. Or if I say the other way around, if copper has to go from copper 2 plus to copper, it is much more likely than iron going from iron 2 plus to iron, because it is a higher SRP. So as soon as it will react with this, it will go from copper 2 plus to copper, because it is a higher tendency. So it will, and Fe will go from Fe to Fe2 plus, because it has higher SOP. So if it is going from Fe to Fe2 plus, it is going from Fe to FeSO4, and copper is coming from CuSO4 to Cu. If I ask you the question, is it possible for copper to replace iron from FeSO4? No, it is not possible. Why? Because if copper is replacing iron, it had to convert to copper 2 plus, which implies it should have a greater SOP than this. But this is not the case. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So you can understand this? You don't have to remember the values. Clear?
Yes, sir.
But you just need to have a fair amount of idea about few things. For example, position relative to H plus. So I'm just star marking. You should know a bit about these things. Calomel electrode, copper. See, all the copper species are again above hydrogen in SRP. Just remember this thing. Not the values, only the positions. All the alkali metals are going to be less than hydrogen. See, all these are alkali metals, alkaline earth metals. Just have a fair amount of idea about the positioning above hydrogen or below hydrogen. Clear? And remember, whether you know the position relative to SRP or SOP. If you are taking SRP, then these things are below hydrogen. If you are taking SOP, then these things are above hydrogen. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I have to use, now a simple question, answer this, okay? Suppose I take any one from these which are above hydrogen, which are below hydrogen in SRP, or with a negative SRP value. If I take any of these with a negative SRP value, and I want to use them with hydrogen as an electrode, so they should act as a cathode or anode? Anode. Yes. Why? Because all these have SRP less than H plus. So when you are combining, your tendency should be that H plus should get reduced, because it is a higher SRP. So this should be cathode and all these should be anode. So this is a very simple way to make a cell. Why? You have this standard hydrogen electrode already present, and you take any of the solution of these and combine it with SHE. Connect the positive terminal to this. If you are taking, it depends whether you're taking a voltaic cell or using it for electrolysis. If you're using for electrolysis, then you connect the positive to anode and negative to cathode. If you're taking a voltaic cell, then you connect negative to anode and positive to cathode, and you can make a cell. So it is a practical way. Getting my point?